Okay, so, hello Internet, I'm the Irrational Mirror, as indicated by this is what the channel is called, and also by the fact that I have 2 other accounts, and I'm an artist. Sort of. It's a hobby. It's more like a compulsive hobby, but still. A few things before I really start. This is going to be a sketchbook tour. I've got something written on my hand, so ignore that. Ignore all background noise and the kind of shaky quality of this video because I'm using my phone because I don't have like a good camera to do this. Also, some of these pictures, I feel like I have this overly weird reason feeling. I can't speak English apparently. To explain certain things, and other things are pretty self-explanatory. So I'm trying to like make this relatively fast, but at the same time like give you like time to like kind of understand why I did certain things. This sketchbook, which is actually just a binder with all the pictures I drew, most of the pictures I drew, this is all from like basically 2016, while I was in the beginning of senior year and the end of junior. I had to think about that. My brain's fried. There's no cover or side thing. I just know because I like flipped through this for a second. Anyway, so hope you enjoy. Let's open this shiz up. And there's a pocket. So let's just drop something. Okay, so first things first is this is self-interpretation, self-insert for Gravity Falls. This is a doodle I did on a assignment report, which was basically a whole bunch of stuff I was missing for my graphic design class. And I got bored, so I tried to start doodling character designs on it. They're really stupid looking, so I'm not proud of it. This is actually something I'm really proud of. These 2 are my characters. This is Grimm, this is Vanitas, and this is one of my friend's characters called Zooey. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that incorrectly. This is my online friend from deviantART, Malison the Abyss's character. We're really good friends, and this was a birthday present. Pretty good friends. This is something I drew for my graphic design class. It was meant to be, it was meant to have something to do with the logos. So I drew Marvel characters, so it was supposed to be Deadpool, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, and then Bucky. Because he's more than just the Winter Soldier to me. I'm a dork. Over here I have something I doodled in class, and underneath is just like another doodle. But this I drew, I think after a conversation about androgynous looking characters. This giant thing, this is how Vanitas was created. I had a theater tech class in the beginning of senior year, and I really enjoyed the class, but one of our things we had to do was we were making tombstones for props for a Addams Family musical we were doing for our spring musical. And this is how I came up with Vanitas. I used the name of a type of art. I gave him the first time I've ever given a character a birthday and even a death day. He died on Friday the 13th in 1942, while he was born on the 14th of February in 1924. I actually researched to make sure that this would be a day that was actually a Friday the 13th. I also used, there's measurements. There's also supposed to be, like, talk about what the overgrowth is. This is a line from a song that I really like called Outer Science. It's a Vocaloid song. And one more thing. Ba-bam! This has actually got more than just 1 or 2. It's got 4. So I'm actually trying to make a comic with a whole bunch of really interesting concepts. These are actually some preliminary comic strips I made for it, and 2 of the main characters meeting, a thing about one of the girls and her abilities. This is Cass. He's adorable. He shows up a lot sometimes. And then these two were, this was basically what a few of the different races were. So you have angels, you have demons, and then you have ghouls. And then this is basically one of the characters getting injured, and then how they react. I'm not going to give you much time to actually, like, really evaluate these, because I'm still working on the actual comic. There's a dog right next to me. So continuing on with this thing. This was an attempt at some fan art for Ice Prince Finn. Over here we have some Markiplier fan art with Tiny Box Tim. And over here we have one of the first few drawings I did of Grimm after I drew his reference. And these two are supposed to be his best friends. This is Lucy, and this is Cronus, I think. I think that's what we named him. This is actually a character my friend was in charge of that we wrote into an RP. And they originally were going to be together, like, meet and be friends in a college AU story, but it went exactly nowhere except for establishing that Grimm was a student who's training to become a doctor, but he also worked for a funeral home for money, and Cronus had an obsession with nooses. Their room was very interesting. Next page, and I'll flip this. This was meant to be me drawing a bunch of my characters in different sitting positions to kind of get more feel of their characteristics. I ended up just like outlining how they were supposed to sit because I didn't trust how it was going to turn out. This is Lorelei. That's supposed to be Lucy again, and that was also supposed to be Grimm. Over here, we have a failed attempt at an original character with an edgy hairstyle. Because, I guess, teenager. I made weird decisions, I'm not gonna lie. Over here, we once again have a Grimm, all chibified and adorable, and he's supposed to be wearing a Soul Eater shirt. And then this is a doodle of... I think this is just supposed to be a doodle of Grimm with his hair pulled out of his face. But Grimm's hairstyle actually has changed, as you could see by that picture for the birthday present. Here's the continuation works for that comic I was working on. These are two of the main characters. This is Lenore, and she is referred to as the Raven by other ghouls. And this is Valdez, whose real name is actually Erin. I actually had a lot of trouble picking out what Lenore was supposed to wear on a daily basis. So I would constantly draw her in comparison to Valdez to try and figure something out. Next page. Once again, like I said, I had a lot of complications with picking Lenore's outfit. So here we have something that definitely a 11-year-old should not be wearing. And since Valdez is older and about 12 to 13, she kind of gets away with her weirdness. Right here I have a character who belongs to the Kingdom Hearts universe. I actually don't use her a lot, and I rarely draw her, but I gave her to a friend to use for a story. I don't think that my friend is still using her for her story. But, who cares? Over here, we have our continuation of more Markiplier fan art and a weird interpretation of Darkiplier. And then here we have me drawing the characters for that universe that Grimm is a part of. His best friend Lucy, whose full name is actually Lucifer. That's actually a name she picked for herself. And then Grimm's stalker / love interest Sasha, who is one of my friend's characters. I have like multiple friends who I get involved with really dumb stuff. Not to say that this universe is dumb, but Sasha's creation is really a funniest story. Over here, we have some of my My Little Pony OC messed up stuff. Her name is actually supposed to be Jawbreaker, but she goes by Mini Mint. I could explain why, but I don't feel like I should. Over here is evidence that as an artist, I can do a lot of shiz. And by a lot of shiz is that I used to get in trouble and a lot with my teachers because I refused to draw realistically. And one of my teachers specifically just had a lot of trouble with, like, people drawing in an anime art style. I mean, he even pissed me off at one point with one of his comments. But this was a proof that I could draw realistically, so I decided to draw Andy Biersack from something I found off the internet. On this next page, which I'm already pointed at, this is supposed to be a gemstone idea, and she's a fusion. I ended up completely scrapping this, but I still kind of really like the way I designed it. And over here, I have another very realistic looking picture. And I got this off of the internet. I literally typed in something about tattoos. I think it was beautiful tattoos. And I got an image of this pose, this girl in this pose. And I was going to draw her tattoo, but I decided against it because I didn't trust how steady I was with my hands. So, the next page. This is a continuation of Lorelei. You know, you saw her earlier sitting. Lorelei actually now is supposed to meant to be a, sort of androgynous character, like you're not supposed to know what their gender is. I don't think I accomplished that because hips, but I really do kind of enjoy this design. I especially love that I gave her a Nirvana shirt and that her jacket has the Chaos Apple. Over here I have more stupid stuff with Grimm. So this is me actually trying to learn how to do profiles with males' bodies, and then also how to just draw male anatomy and muscles. I suck at it, I admit. And there was also a point where I was like, Grimm totally has a crush on Sebastian Stan as Bucky, because who doesn't? Over here I have a bunch of random sketches and doodles of how I just, like, drew certain eyes for certain characters. As you see, they're all meant to be completely unique. Here, this is supposed to be Vanitas' eye, and then there's just a random mouth and chibi face. It's chibi. Over here are some pen doodles, and this actually continues on for a little bit. But I tried to make my own unique race. I called these Codys, and they were supposed to be like this really weird thing. I think there's more about them on the next pages. But as you can see, they wear sweaters, and their fingers float. And they're, like, mainly comprised of blue, and they have, like, these weird symbols in one of their eyes instead of a normal pupil, and they have facial things. This is supposed to be more information, but I don't want to bother you guys with it. Here we have, oh, yeah, that's right. So, in 2016, our family lost a family friend. Her name was Hilda. She passed away in her house, and we had gone to, like, continue help cleaning it up because we were planning on moving there because she was going to move somewhere else. She was going to move to a different building she owned. And when she died, I got really, really upset because Grimm's last name is Hatcher, and the reason why his last name is Hatcher was because Hilda, the person whom we were good friends with and had been in the family for a while, I would have considered her, like, literally a grandmother if I didn't know better. I gave her last name because Hilda was actually a German woman, and Grimm is supposed to be part German. You also have with him two of my other characters. This is supposed to be Lainey, and that is Mira, my self-insert. I put that in quotations because there's a joke, there's a funny story behind that, I want to say. Here we have some more of Lenore Valdez and another attempt at what Lenore should be wearing. Because, yeah. Here, this is supposed to be Grimm as a child. And one of the things I really like the idea of is him having longer hair so that he could, like, have an androgynous gender. Because I don't know why, but I find it, like, really adorable when you can't tell if the kid's supposed to be a boy or a girl, and you're just like, no, you're just too cute to put a gender to. Over here, that you've been staring at for a second, is a whole bunch of random doodles for Steven Universe. As you can see, there's Peridot, there's a crystal quartz and a sapphire. These two. These are actually supposed to be the two parts to that fusion. That's supposed to be my gemstone. This is supposed to be just like sapphire with her hair up and like things going on. Another image of my gemstone, and that's supposed to be freaking amethyst. Because amethyst. Keep turning this thing around, it's gonna get annoying. Here we have a doodle of Grimm in his Reaper form, which he actually is. We have an image of Valdez all colored up, some spare doodle things of the radioactive symbol, and some words that I'm not going to read to you. And then here we have Mira. This is a doodle of her. An unfinished picture because I was lazy as fudge. The next page, and this is going to be a continuing theme, is more Mira. So here we have her in front of a mirror holding what's supposed to be tarot cards, and each tarot card is actually supposed to represent a different character of mine. And over here we have her in a yellow sweater with Bill, because there's a dumb explanation, and I'm going to have to explain it probably the next page. Alright everybody, you ready for this? I sure ain't. The next page! This stuff. So, as you can see, that's Mira in both images. And who is this man in the yellow and black with the brick pattern kissing her? And it's Bill Cipher, because I'm trash. No, but in all honesty, the only reason why these two actually commonly get drawn together is because at one point while I was evaluating Mira's character and her design, because I had, like, redesigned her, and then a few months later, I'd finally caught up with all of Gravity Falls. And it hadn't ended yet when I had finally caught back up. And then, later on my birthday, I was bawling my eyes out. So, this stuff is actually technically from 2015-ish. Late 2015. But my friend suggested that I start shipping them. And then I started drawing some stuff for a little bit of indulgement in the idea. And then now it's just self-indulgement whenever I draw it. See, because now they're just kissing, because... over here we have more of my comic things. So you have Valdez, and this is supposed to be Cass. This is him in his teenager form. Over here we have a reference sheet, woohoo, for Valdez and what her outfit's supposed to look like. And like I said, her real name is actually Erin. And even over here we have the preliminary sketch that I did for redesigning Lorelei. Like I said, I wanted them to be androgynous. I don't think I accomplished that. Boopity boop boop. Here we have a monstrosity that is Lucy. She's actually a kitsune. I don't think I established that. And she's wearing Grimm's clothes because they're good friends, and she sometimes just sleeps over. Here is supposed to be some redesigns for Princess Bubblegum and Marceline from, Adventure Time. Woohoo. Over here, we have Grimmy as the Mad Hatter, because that's a thing that happens in an AU. I would explain more, but it's really messed up. And over here we have a version of Lucy. As you can see, she's got a knife, and she's holding it really weirdly. Here we have a continuation of Grimm, Vanitas, and then my other character, Nick, who you haven't seen yet. But these three are, the only three guy characters. That's a lie. They're not the only three, but they're, the main ones I was using in 2016. This is a design for a character that was supposed to be a OC for Supernatural. It went nowhere. This is supposed to be the ambulance in which Grimm lives in during his years of college. He is not a very clean person. And here we have a continuation of that failed OC for Supernatural. Right here is supposed to be a pony Sona for one of my sisters, because she's very athletic, so I made her a Pegasus. It made sense in my head. Over here, we have one of my characters. He is supposed to be the crack fan child of the pairing Bubbles and Grim Jr. Not Grim Jr. What the hell? Nurgle Jr. from, you know, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Look, there it is! There's the ship! I actually really like the ship for a really stupid reason. I don't feel like I should explain it. It's basically a crack ship, but I find, like, the idea kind of adorable. Over here, we have an attempted AU version of Rapunzel and then Mira wearing something she shouldn't and being embarrassed about it. Next page, we have a random doodle that's supposed to be Mira and then Lucy. And over here, we have more of Break. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a few more after this of him. He is a very traumatic child, easily upset, and he's trying to bite the ear off of his stuffed bunny. Here, we have some more of my Grimmy Grim. These are a few of the reference drawings I started drawing of him, so I could get a feel of how I was supposed to draw him. Since originally it was like a non-look at, like, RP character that I just described every so often. And then this is essentially what he was supposed to look like in the zombie apocalypse AU he was a part of first. And the joke is the keep calm, I'm the doctor shirt and the aviator jacket. He has medical experience, so he's essentially the group's medic. Then here's just a doodle of him. This is also supposed to be Grim, and I was trying to learn how to draw anatomy from boys because I don't know how to. And then over here we have some more of my Lucy, because she appears a lot in these few years. Here we have some more of the Hatter Grim, and then me trying to figure out how I was drawing his hair. And over here is a really dumb anime character I have. I actually don't use her for anything. She's just an anime character designed to be in an anime that doesn't exist. And I just keep her around because I like the design. Over here, we have a very chibi version of Grim wearing a Iron Man shirt and a Batman jacket. There's a joke behind that. Over here is supposed to be a young Vanitas before he went crazy. The next page, older Vanitas in blue flannel that failed miserably. And this is supposed to be a Halloween picture of Grim when he was younger, dressing up as a witch, and Lucy going with him, dressed up as, you get it, a kitsune. Very scantily clad. And the last page in this is this horrible thing. So I have to explain this, because this is actually like the proudest moment. So in 2016, I went to NecoCon, which is my local convention that's in, like, Hampton Roads. Anyway, the thing is I, honest to goodness, don't watch a lot of, like, I watch anime, but I don't watch a lot of it, but I did watch some of Attack on Titan, and one of the voice actresses was there in 2016. She also voiced someone from Seven Deadly Sins, but at the time I hadn't watched Seven Deadly Sins yet, and I'm pretty sure there's some other things she was a part of. But while I was waiting in line so I could get her to sign something, and I had her sign my, the book that you get when you go to a convention that explains everything that's there, I had her sign that near her picture, and I also drew this up in 5 minutes while waiting to get to her so she could sign it. I looked up a reference to draw it, and it's a 5-minute drawing, so it sucks. But I'm like overly proud of this because she signed it. It was great. It was a great experience. And that's the end of it. That's 24 minutes. No one's going to get back from their lives. Sorry if I bored you. I'm just going to kind of flip this shut. But thank you for watching this video. Hope you could ignore the background noise. Because, I mean, I could ignore it, but I'm also sweating now because it's hot in my house. We don't have AC. So, hope you liked this. I mean, if you liked it, I mean, obviously like it. If you didn't like it, I guess dislike it. I'm not gonna care. I don't actually foresee anyone watching this. But, so this is some old art. I don't know how much of this has actually been posted on any of my accounts. So, hey, maybe you saw some stuff you never saw before. So, that's 25 minutes now. I'm gonna let you go back to your lives. Hope you have fun doing whatever it is humans do in real life.